because I have proved to everybody in the world that I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even in commentary. Nobody can touch me.
Hey there, wrestling fans, it is I, CMG, the most glorious Jew to ever lived, here with your New Japan Pro Wrestling 28th Annual G1 Climax update for Night 6. Sorry for getting these a little bit late. I had a bit of payment issue with New Japan World. Everything settled. It was on my half, actually. So I missed a couple of nights out. Or at least I had to wait. Paychecks, things like that, and some family issues. So I'm a bit behind. I hope to be caught up by tomorrow or the next day, as we're in the home stretch and the final few nights are happening after this, and everything's really starting to shape up. Starting out with Night 6 for the A block. Our first match of the night was Togi Makabe versus Bad Luck Fale. This match never really clicked for me. Usually I do enjoy two big hosses going at it, but it just never really clicked, and especially with the interference constantly happening from the firing squad, it never got really good. It just didn't have that energy for me. Bad Luck Fale, of course, with interference, wins with the Bad Luck Fall. Our next match was a rematch for the IWGP United States title way back in the first excursion this year to America, as Jay White faced off against Hangman Page. This was a good back and forth contest between two I was about to say kiss can't out, but that's really more Hangman Page. He's a bit more of a high flyer, but you have this sort of freewheeling, very unique style of Jay White. I think they had a really good match. I really love the ending coming down to Jay White spitting in Hangman Page's face, when he was going for his finisher, and that gave him sort of caused a slight hesitation that allowed Jay White to pick up the victory. So I really enjoyed that, the way that led to Blade Runner for Jay White picking up the victory. Our next match was Evil versus Minoru Suzuki. I would have liked to see it being given more time. I say that because the match felt a bit rushed, but this was definitely a match of sort of the rule breakers, two guys who love to go outside and brawl. But of course you have the more technical aspect of Minoru Suzuki versus the straight power of Evil. And I thought they had a good match, but I thought it needed more time to build. Minoru Suzuki would win, though, with a sort of snap guts pile driver. Our next match was Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Yoshi-Hashi. Again, Tanahashi can't have a bad match. This was really good contest between the two. They told a lot of storytelling, the starting, the buckling, the worrying about Tanahashi's knee. He would injure it in the match, and it led to Tanahashi not being able to connect with Hi-Fi Flow and having to rely on a roll-up on Yoshi-Hashi out of nowhere, a unique pinning predicament to pick up the win. And I thought it was a very good contest, though not as good as Tanahashi's other matches throughout this tournament. And again, that's sort of a running theme throughout this entire night for A Block, was that a lot of stuff just didn't click, and it wasn't up to the same energy as past nights. That leads us to the final match of the night, Kazuchika Okada versus Michael Elgin. This was the best match of the night. This had the most energy. It was given the proper amount of time. Great back and forth contest. The straight power of Elgin versus the just absolute ability of Kazuchika Okada. Ultimately, Kazuchika Okada wins with a Rainmaker clothesline that follows a 360-degree Rainmaker clothesline, which is sort of something new that he's brought to his archer, where he sort of spins the person around and then spins himself around and hits the clothesline. It's not sort of your traditional Rainmaker clothesline, but he uses it in this tournament to set up the true Rainmaker clothesline. So our standings in A block are follows. Eliminated from the tournament is Yoshi-Hashi at 2 points. Also, pretty much eliminated mathematically from the tournament is Bad Luck Fale, Togi Makabe, Michael Elgin. By the way, Hangman Page is also at 2 points eliminated. But Bad Luck Fale, Togi Makabe, and Michael Elgin all are at 4 points mathematically. They're all eliminated as well. Tied at Bad Luck Fale is not at 4 points. He stands alone at 6 points, so he's technically in it, but he needs a lot of help and probably gonna be eliminated next night. At 8 points, all tied together, is Evil, Minoru Suzuki, Kazuchika Okada, and Jay White, who are technically all still in it. They're 2 points behind the leader. Hiroshi Tanahashi stands at the top at 10 points. Moving on to B block. This is, I thought, a lot better than A block's night 6. We started off with Tama Tonga versus Tomohiro Ishii. I really loved the contest. You had sort of numbers game of the firing squad and the sort of defensive style of wrestling of Tama Tonga versus just power and toughness of Tomohiro Ishii, and they worked so well together. It was a great contest, and I love watching Tomohiro Ishii just working, like constantly countering the numbers game off and on throughout the entire match, but eventually it caught up to him with Bad Luck Fale hitting sort of the grenade, the tongue and thumb attack, allowing Tama Tonga to pick up the win over Ishii. So our next match would also be another very good match, and I think one of the biggest surprises so far of the tournament: Juice Robinson versus Sanada. Great back and forth contest between both of them. Both have a unique style that work well against each other, but the win coming from Juice Robinson unwrapping his cast, taking it off, which then allows him to use his left fist, which he likes to throw. And of course, he doesn't use that entire match, and so it shocks Sanada by surprise when he hits a straight left hand, and that allows him to put Pulp Fiction in for the win. Perfectly legal. And so, yeah, Juice Robinson defeating Sanada. And probably, taking Sanada out of the tournament by surprise. Juice Robinson's going to be spoiler for the rest of the way through. That takes us to our next match, and this is just absolute fun. Toru Yano versus Tetsuya Naito. This was the cool, calm, tranquilo of Naito. Versus just the comedy and the wonderfulness of Toru Yano. My favorite bit is Naito tapes Yano's hand to a railing and the countdown's going off. And so Yano just finally rips the piece of guardrail off its area and dives into the ring with the railing still on. It was awesome. I was like, and it eventually came off right after that, but I'm like, I would have loved to see Yano have to wrestle the rest of the match with a railing taped to his hand, or wrist, excuse me. It would have been awesome. And I also love the ending. It's like, Yano starts building a comeback, and it gets to the point where Naito's like, okay, enough of this. Let me nip this in the bud right now, and just hits a Destino out of nowhere for the win. And I love the abrupt ending. I thought it just fit perfectly. Our first main event was Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr., a match a lot of people have been waiting for. They haven't wrestled singly against each other in 5 years. It was a great back and forth contest. The technique and submission skill of Zack Sabre Jr. versus the just gifted ability of Kenny Omega and his high flying. And I love the story he told, Zack Sabre Jr. keeping him grounded throughout most of the match, working on the leg so V-trigger wouldn't have as much effect as it usually would, and ultimately leading to when Zack Sabre makes the mistake of going for a Zack driver, Kenny Omega rolling him up in a unique pinning predicament and getting the 1-2-3. And so, you know, he can win without the one-winged angel, or the V-trigger for that matter, and effectively eliminating Zack Sabre Jr. Great contest, great storytelling, and including storytelling after the match with Zack Sabre Jr. being just furious because he thought he got his shoulder up. So, love the match. Our main event was Kota Ibushi versus Hirooki Goto. Kota Ibushi being the hometown hero in the city that they were in at this moment. Great back and forth contest. I don't think it captured the same energy as Omega and Sabre Jr. So I had to follow that, but still a very good contest. Great back and forth. A lot of counters at the end, building up to the Kamigori for the win for Kota Ibushi. So with most of the field eliminated, here is the standings for B Block. Eliminated at 2 points is Toriano all by himself. Eliminated at 4 points, Tamatanga, Juice Robinson, Hirooki Goto, and Tomohiro Ishii. Eliminated mathematically at 6 points because of tiebreaker rules, because they both have lost to Omega, Sonata and Zack Sabre Jr. That just leaves Kota Ibushi still in it at 8 points. Tetsuya Naito at 10 points, who unfortunately needs Kenny Omega to lose 2 of his last 3, which I think is going to happen considering who he's facing. But Naito's at 10. Kenny Omega stands atop, undefeated in the entire tournament at 12 points. Though I do think it's going to happen because he's facing Yano, who defeated him last year in the G1, and he's still got Kota Ibushi on the final night. And yeah, I think Kota Ibushi's going to play spoiler, and that's just my prediction. Beat him, cost him going to the finals, and that will lead him getting a shot at the title at King of Pro Wrestling, which is their sort of pay-per-view event that happens in I believe September or October, one of those. So that is your G1 update. Join me tomorrow or next day, as I hopefully will be caught up by then, for Night 7. So until next time, I am your most glorious Jew.